Welcome to the Habits and Home Show. This is episode 240. I'm your host, Lisa Lazat, and I help Christian ADHD women clear out the clutter in their homes and get clarity over their systems so they can finally walk in the peace God has promised them. If you love Jesus but feel disorganized and overwhelmed, you have come to the right place. Today, we're going to talk about those kitchen piles, that clutter that keeps piling up and you're just tired of it. But before I do, I want to say a quick prayer over you. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for my friend who has found this episode today. I know she's staring at several piles on her kitchen counter as we speak. Maybe she is overwhelmed with how to clear them off and to keep it from piling up again and again. She's coming here for some kind of quick fix or some kind of tip that's going to magically make it all better. I pray that she finds comfort today. I pray that she finds some kind of support and she walks away changed, her mindset changed, and she goes forward feeling less overwhelmed and less frustrated over these kitchen piles. Be with her today. Be with me today as I share and just bless us in our homes and help us guide our children, guide our families as we learn to manage our homes well. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, before we dive in with the tips that I'm going to share with you today, I want to encourage you to get up and take some action in your home. Whatever you want to work on, whatever you want to accomplish, these episodes are meant to be sort of like body doubling. Several of my members inside the Accountability Club have mentioned that. They're like, hey, yes, I want my weekly coaching time with you, but I'm just here for the body doubling. I get so much accomplished by listening to you coach other people, and other people are working in their homes. The Accountability Club, y'all, is a great place to be a part of. If you struggle with task initiation, follow through, getting things done, then I highly recommend when it opens back up in January that you get in there for the spring semester and get some things accomplished in your home. I break down your entire home. I take your entire home, all the different areas, all the different nuances that you need to work through to declutter, to organize, and to set up systems and to get clarity over your routines and your habits. I take every part of your home and I stretch it out over a year. Break it down into 10 months. I give you the month of June and the month of December off for those vacations, family time, or to just even catch up if you're about to roll into the next semester. So I take your entire home, spread it out over a year, and hold you accountable to help you follow through on completing those tasks. We're probably going into our third or fourth year. I don't really remember how long we've been doing this. And I've had people come back year after year to get that support because they're not ready to be released and to let go. I have had 3 members just in the past couple of weeks say, Lisa, I'm not going to renew for the fall semester. I've been with you for a year and a half, and I feel like I'm ready. And that's the goal. And I told them, bless and release. Yes, my goal is for you to feel like you can stand on your own 2 feet. In the meantime, I'm here to support you through it because why not? Why not get some mommy support? Why not get some support with the clutter and the overwhelm? Maybe you weren't raised, learning these life skills and you just feel a lot of friction and you're trying to reduce that resistance in your life. So why not outsource and get support in that? So that's my little spill, my little commercial. Don't miss out on the spring semester when it opens up in January. Highly recommend doing it. That being said, the body doubling aspect of the accountability is so valuable, as well as in my one-to-one coaching. I do body doubling and coaching, personalized coaching there as well. It's just a little bit more affordable in the Accountability Club. However, there are some people that are like, I don't care what it takes. I want to work with you. I need you to speak into my life. I need some straightforward coaching on this. So if that's who you are and you don't want to wait until January, then you can click the link below and schedule a consultation with me. Okay. So that being said, hopefully while you're listening today, you are feeling inspired to take some action in your home, whatever that looks like. So today we're going to talk about how to stop the kitchen piles on your counters. And this was inspired. If you listened to last week's episode, I mentioned one of my members inside the club. I was helping her, one of her struggle points or her things that she was struggling with in her kitchen are the piles on the counters. And so we evaluated them and I said, okay, show me what's there. And by doing that, I was able to say, okay, what lives here? What doesn't live here? So my goal for her is not to just help her clear it one time and be done. My goal for her is to keep it clear based on her standard, based on what she wants, right? And that there was a lot of contention there. There was a lot of struggle and just frustration there. And so I have 3 steps. I'm breaking this down into 3 simple steps. I know that y'all love how-tos. You love steps. How do I go about doing this? Number 1, you first have to establish a baseline. If you've never heard me say that before, it's really important to know what the baseline is for each of your rooms. The baseline for you might be a couple of things here or there. For some other people, your baseline might look like an Airbnb house. That is not my home. That is where I want to go vacation, but that's not the kind of home I live in. I've realized that I can't have a perfect home all the time. That's just not realistic. So there are going to be a basket of blankets in my living room. There are going to be, a pile on my kitchen counter that I have the permission to put things there that I'm then going to put away in my evening reset. So you need to know what your baseline is. How do we go about figuring out what our baseline is? You got to do the work of decluttering. You have to do the work of removing things so that you are living within your capacity to be able to manage that space. It's realistic. It's not your fantasy life. And this is based on nobody's standard other than your own. You know what your personal capacity is and what you are able to manage. And I like to declutter in layers. So every time in the accountability club, we circle back to all the different areas. I love the accountability club for myself because I have decluttered my garage or my shed four times over the last 4 years. Like every April or May, we come back around to my shed and I'm like, okay, I don't have to think about it for the rest of the year other than like light cleaning and light resetting. But every April I come around, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go a level deeper. Okay. So don't think the first time that you declutter that it's going to be perfect the first time around. You're going to declutter. And then you're going to come back to that space a couple months later after you've tested out that level of stuff that you've left in that space. If you're still experiencing a lot of resistance, a lot of frustration in your home, in that area specifically, then it's probably a telltale sign that you need to let go more stuff in that area. And so you want to go a level deeper in your decluttering, which is another word for letting stuff go out of your house. Okay. So on your kitchen counters, you want to declutter in the best steps. And so I have a formula. I have like steps that I follow. I always go back and refer back to these steps when I'm decluttering any room or any space. First of all, you want to have a designated workspace. Okay, maybe that's the counter behind you. So say you have a galley kitchen and one side of your kitchen just collects all the piles, but the other side doesn't. Well, the workspace is the counter behind you, or you clear off your dining room table and that's the workspace. You need a space where you can spread things out and take an assessment of what those things are. It's also a great area where you can categorize things by grouping up like items. So always designate a workspace when you are decluttering an area. Okay, so that's step number 1 to decluttering. The next thing that you want to do is you want to just quickly remove everything off of the counter. All right, so you have your designated workspace. Just quickly in one swoop, move everything from that area, from that counter, and you'll quickly see, wow, how that feels, okay? So when you get everything, and maybe you put it in a box, I like to use a laundry basket because I only have a certain amount of laundry baskets, and I've really gotten good at my laundry system. So I know that these are not going to go there to die. They are going to be dumped out. They are going to be sorted through because I need my laundry basket. So maybe you do one swoop of the stuff that is on your kitchen counter into a laundry basket. You take the laundry basket over to the dining room table chair, you put it on there, and then you pull things out and you sort them by categories. Maybe you need sticky notes on the dining room table for your different categories. Maybe you categorize by rooms in your house. Maybe you write down on each of your sticky notes rooms in your house, and the items that are on the kitchen counter are going to be delivered to the rooms where they belong. All right. More than likely, you are going to have piles of paperwork. So that being said, create a category with just paperwork and just stack it up. Okay, this is paperwork. This is not things. This is separate from things. Paperwork is separate from things. We're not doing paperwork and things at the same time. I recommend doing all the things, like the physical items first, and then dispersing them to where it makes sense, where they belong in your house. And then you come back and then you just have paperwork left. Then, which I share this, which I'll go ahead and share it with you. I share this inside my accountability club in the month of January, February. In February, we do our paper management system, which is why a lot of people join in the spring. They want to focus on their photos that are overwhelming on their phone, and then they want to get a paper management system. So I'm going to share with you how I sort papers. And I'm only going to do the sorting part because I go deeper into the systems and the organization of your paperwork inside the accountability club. And I gotta coach you through that. All right. So how to sort papers, get sticky notes. And as you come across, and just kind of before you even think, okay, like before you even touch the paper, what kind of categories are you going to encounter? What are they going to be? Health papers? Are they going to be bills? Are they going to be kids? Are they going to be work related? Go ahead and write those categories on sticky notes and put them on the table. So then when the next step, you go through the stack, you quickly put the paperwork or the paper aligned with the category where it belongs. Okay. So you're going to sort your papers first. Then you're going to declutter per category. You're only going to look at all the health papers. You're only going to look at all the bills. You're only going to look at all your to-do lists and so on. So now you have your papers sorted on the table per category, and you're going to work through those papers per category. Throw out anything that's unnecessary. Store away things that are important. Scan things that are important. I go over all of this inside the accountability club. Okay. So I don't want to get into the weeds of this. So that's how you sort out your paperwork. Okay. So step number 1, clear everything in one swoop and then sort things out. The next thing that I encourage you to do, now that your counter is completely clear, I want you to label your counters during the training phase. I know you're not going to enjoy it. It's not very aesthetic. You're not going to enjoy having a computer piece of paper label on the backsplash of your kitchen counter. But truly, it's really, really helpful in this training phase. And maybe you only need like 2 or 3 weeks of doing this, but give yourself a place where, okay, I'm going to identify what lives here and just label out what lives here. Because at the end of the day, which is going to be step number 3, is to practice an evening reset. Whatever is on the counter that doesn't line up with the label that you have put on the backsplash, it needs to be put away or rehomed somewhere. Okay, so you're trying to get back to your baseline each and every night. And if you do this daily, which right now you're looking at it and you're like, oh, that's a big pile. I'm so overwhelmed. Lisa, you're expecting me to do this every night. Well, honey, if you do the hard part of decluttering and getting your counters to a baseline and you establish what actually lives on those counters and you do it daily, which is a quick little reset. I'm talking about like 5 minutes to reset your kitchen after you wash your dishes and put them away. Then yeah, it's going to be easy. But if you allow things to pile up because in your mind, they're harder than they really are. I mean, it's really not that hard to look through mail, but we have made a bigger task out of something that is much, much smaller than it really is. Okay. So those are my 3 steps. You want to establish a baseline by decluttering, by just swooping everything into a basket, getting it off quickly, and be done with it, right? Number 2, in the training phase, because you got to break a cycle, you got to break the habit of just laying things there and they're there to live there, right? Label your counters. Label the counters, what goes on there, what lives there by putting things on your backsplash. I mean, just do it. Do it for yourself. Don't expect yourself to be more than you're capable of being right now. You have to start from the very beginning. I call it the kindergarten method. Label everything. Label everything and get really good at the small things, and then you can remove the labels and you don't need to live by them anymore, okay? So give yourself some support, even if it feels dumb, even if it feels juvenile, even if it's not aesthetically appealing. Do what you need to do to train yourself in good habits. And this will also help your family. Like, just tell them, hey, I am so frustrated. I'm not mad at y'all. I take full responsibility for this because, first of all, I haven't trained you what I expect and what makes me feel good. And so I'm working on this. So if you can help me out by following the labels that are on the counter, that would be immensely great. And if you can help me with the evening reset, because my brain just doesn't work very well that way to sort and organize things, then that would be great as well. All right. And then the third thing is practice an evening reset. And if you've been listening to me for a good amount of time, I talk about my bare minimum 3. I call it the BM3s. Whatever thing you are trying to reset, just pick 3 steps or 3 tasks for it. So for my evening reset, it used to be reset the dishes, reset the counters, sweep the floor. Because I got really good at those 3, now I lumped it all into one and I can just say reset the kitchen. That opened up 2 other tasks for my evening reset. So I added in, okay, reset the kitchen, done. Reset the living room, which is so easy. All I have to do is line up the pillows and put blankets away and put the remote control back in its little basket where it belongs. And then my third item at the end of the night is reset my bedroom, because I take off clothes and put on clothes. I might have my laundry basket for that day that I need to put away. Shoes are out of place. I just take a little moment to reset my bedroom. And if you do this regularly, things don't pile up and become overwhelming to you. All right. So the skills that I have learned myself, I am sharing with you what has worked for me here on the podcast. So I promise you, I am not a special snowflake. Like, I struggle with ADHD tendencies, with ADHD habits, and executive function and procrastination and task initiation. I struggle with all of these things. I learned by grit and by struggle and by decluttering. I decluttered a lot because I just felt overwhelmed, and I felt like that was the only thing I could do at that time. And then I realized it didn't matter how little I owned. It mattered the systems that I created afterwards to manage myself and to manage my home. So not only do you need to declutter, which is where this podcast originally started out, but you also have to get clarity over your systems for managing your spaces. So you need a good environment that supports the habits that you want to create and to maintain. So it all works hand in hand, and I help you through that. I share ideas with you. I'm really good at problem solving and troubleshooting and giving ideas. So if you are interested in that and you need help outside of this podcast, then I want to encourage you to click the link below to schedule a consultation with me for some one-on-one coaching, or when the Accountability Club does open up in January, to not hesitate and to dive in and join us for the spring semester. All right, friends, I hope you feel good and you're ready to tackle those piles on your kitchen counter. Go ahead and swoop everything into a basket, sort everything out, label your counters, what belongs there, and practice your evening reset. Is going to help you so much, and it's going to help you feel better in your home. All right, I will see you right here next time on the Habits and Home Show.